Hey guys, what is going on? It is NeoExcalibur here with the new video. It has been a while since I said that, guys, and this is like my third attempt making this video because I'm just trying to get everything perfect. But yes, guys, today is going to be my official PS5 review video. I'm basically going to be talking about, the PlayStation 5 itself, the hardware, the software, the UI, you know, how loud it is, the games, the whole pre-order process, just what I think of it in general, comparing it to the PS4, capturing and broadcasting on the PS5 versus the PS4, and everything off the top of my head. I don't have a list or a script or anything. I'm just going to be talking about the stuff that I'm thinking about at the moment. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We're that much closer to 200 subscribers, and I appreciate each and every one of you that do subscribe. And turn the notifications on as well, hit the bell button so you'll be notified of all future uploads slash streams. I stream practically every day. I try to in the evenings Eastern time. But otherwise, guys, let's get right into the video. So right now in the background, I have Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales playing, just so you guys can watch something while I chit chat. So basically, yeah, let's get right into it. So to start with, I guess let's talk about the pre-order process because I feel like while the pre-order process kind of has nothing to do with how the actual PS5 plays, I do want to still talk about it because I feel like it is kind of an integral process to getting the PS5. I feel like, how well Sony handled the whole situation does factor in a little bit. Definitely not as much as everything else. So I feel like it'd be perfect to start off with it. So on September 16th, Walmart was, I think, the first to release the official pre-order for the PS5, and I managed to get it, and so did a lot of my friends. A couple of my friends, though, their order either got canceled without them knowing, or their package got stolen. These are just two examples. I know a lot of people that have gotten PlayStation 5s and they were, broken or unplayable or some issues happened where I think I even saw a video on Facebook where a guy had like a sticker in the wrong area of his PlayStation 5 and it was causing a really loud whining noise that he had to actually open up the PlayStation 5, which therefore voided the warranty that it had to fix the issue. And that's a little bit off topic. But that basically the whole pre-order process was a little bit difficult, not for me, but for a lot of my friends. So I'm kind of factoring that into the PS5 review overall. Now, the console itself. So the console is a lot bigger than the PlayStation 4. I think everybody at this point has seen pictures or videos of like the two side by side, the consoles. And yeah, I have the PS4 right next to me right now, and it is ginormous compared to the PS4. It has the white plates, black middle, and I have the disc drive. I have the disc drive PS5, the $500 version. So, getting the PS5, I managed to get it day one. Everything was good there. Setting it up was fine. The hardware is actually really impressive. So after loading up games that were infamous for making your PS4 sound like a jet engine, games like Dead by Daylight, Call of Duty, even Fortnite, just like a lot of these games that for some reason it demanded a lot out of the hardware, and which therefore caused a lot of overheating issues which caused your PS4 to sound like a jet engine. The PS5 is as quiet as a mouse. I'm not gonna lie. It's very quiet. The fan turns on every now and then, and you can hear it. It's still not as loud as the PS4's fan, and it only does that for like 15 to 30-second increments here and there, and then that's it. You don't hear it anymore. This is on Dead by Daylight. Even the upgraded PS5 version, the new Call of Duty with like maxed out settings or like the most I can max out with my television, and I'm very impressed by that. So that stuff's all very impressive. I guess let's talk about the games. So on release date, November 12th, I had Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, which again is currently playing in the background, Dead by Daylight, both the PS4 and the PS5 versions. I think Fortnite and NBA 2K21. Those were the games that I basically had on launch day. I played Spider-Man, I streamed it the first day, but I did run into some issues with Spider-Man. And this is where I guess we can kind of transition into the captures and broadcasting setting of it. So basically, the way it works on captures and making videos and broadcasting, it is a little bit different on PlayStation 5. So I'm kind of like throwing everything together all at once, but I will talk about these things separately, of course. So right now I'm talking about the broadcasting. So broadcasting for the PlayStation 5. When I went to the settings, For the first thing I wanted to make sure is how, like, what's the best quality I can stream in? Because on my PlayStation 4, the base version, not the Pro. I never ended up getting the PS4 Pro. I had my PlayStation 4 from day one, 2013. The best I could stream on that was 720p, 60 FPS, which is good. It's not even HD, but it's still good for a console that came out in 2013, that basically had 2013 hardware. To stream in that kind of quality is pretty amazing at the time. But now, on the PlayStation 5, I can stream at 1080p 60 FPS, which I think is also very impressive because a lot of PC players stream on that. Max 1440p, and I think in the future PlayStation 5 should implement some kind of 1440p support because I know a lot of people are upset that they didn't have that support at launch, but PlayStation could do it. They said they could do it if enough people advocated for it, and I think it'll happen. So I think in the future we might even be able to stream in 1440p, but for right now to be able to stream in 1080p 60 is very impressive because now I can stream in HD and all that stuff. Also, share party audio returns. You know, you could have only your audio in the stream. You could have other people's audios in the stream. You could have no audio in the stream. The comments, how the comments show up is a little bit different. So on PlayStation 4, you could have the display two ways. You could have it so the comments are always on your screen, and it creates like a little black box, and on the right side or whatever would be your comments, and then your actual screen would be a little bit smaller because it has to make space for the comment box and your icon and your viewers. Or you could have it so on the top right corner, the box would pop up every now and then if a new viewer joined or if there was a new comment, and you could keep track of how many people were commenting and how many people are viewing. On PlayStation 5, that's a little bit different. So, um, viewer how to track viewers and comments on PlayStation 5. Basically, for comments, you can have it so that comments can practically pop up on anywhere on the screen. The middle of the screen, the top right, the top left, the just straight left, right, up, down. You could have it anywhere you want. But the sad thing is that PlayStation 5 actually doesn't track comments anymore, at least not to my knowledge. So I can't see if I hit like 100 comments, 200 comments, 1,000 comments, because I like to announce those milestones in the stream because I'm very proud of them. But now I can't see the how many comments. I can see the comments, but I can't see the quantity. Like I don't know how many comments there have been throughout the whole stream unless I actually go and count them myself. So that's kind of one of the drawbacks of broadcasting on the PlayStation 5. But otherwise, I think just the fact that you could stream in such high quality on the PlayStation 5 from day one, with there being a possibility of streaming in even higher quality in the future, I think gives it a huge edge over the PlayStation 4 Pro. So, and then capturing. If I want to record videos, I can actually record videos in 4K. That's what I'm doing right now. The gameplay, or not really the gameplay, but what you're watching right now of Spider-Man is in 4K. So I want to see when the video gets uploaded, what qualities you can watch it in. If you can watch it in 4K, I'd be very impressed, because I'm recording it in 4K. So I want to see how that'll translate to YouTube, if it'll take longer to upload because it's a higher quality video, stuff like that. Now, back to the main point though. So the fact that you can't track quantity of comments is bad, but you could still track viewers. So when a new viewer pops up, I think PlayStation 5 has a little bit of an advantage on this over PlayStation 4. It actually pretty accurately updates when viewers come and go in the stream. Because on PlayStation 4, sometimes the box wouldn't pop up to update you that there are new viewers or viewers have left. But on PlayStation 5, they're really on top of that. Like every single time someone comes and leaves, even before YouTube updates, PlayStation 5 will tell me in the top right that it's updated. I'm very impressed by that. Also, what was I going to say? Yeah, being able to record video clips in 4K is very impressive as well. But here are the drawbacks to broadcasting so far on the PlayStation 5. So what I noticed is when I broadcasted on day one, I was broadcasting Spider-Man, and I ended the stream because I wanted to start up another stream because I was running into mic issues. And for some reason, even though I ended the stream on my PlayStation 5, and I even turned off the game, on YouTube, it still showed that I was still streaming, but when you tried to load it up, it just became an infinite buffering screen. So, like, you would hear, like, the last two words I would say, and then it would just go into an infinite buffering screen. And people would join my stream thinking I'm still streaming, but all they see is a buffering screen, and I had to actually permanently delete that stream because I didn't know how to fix it. I ended up streaming again a few minutes later, and it ended up working fine. But even lately, I've noticed that when I end the stream, it actually takes like maybe half an hour for the stream to actually end on YouTube. So it doesn't add an extra half an hour to my broadcast. It'll just be half an hour of kind of infinite buffering until the stream actually ends. But if you were to rewatch the VOD when it uploads later, you won't see that infinite buffering thing. It'll just end, which I think is a little bit strange. Maybe on YouTube's end, the communication isn't that good, or it's like for some reason not, it's taking too long to end the stream right away, because I've never had that issue on PlayStation 4. If I ended the stream on PlayStation 4, whether it was turning it off or just closing the game or turning off my PlayStation, the stream would automatically end on YouTube. But on PS5, that doesn't always seem to be the case. If you guys don't really know what I'm talking about, you can either search it up. I'm pretty sure people have made videos about this, or if you guys want to join one of my future live streams and this happens, because it's been happening my past few live streams. I recently started Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I ended the stream. I'd go back to my phone 10 minutes later and it would say I'm still streaming when I'm not. But when you open it up, it's an infinite buffering screen. So that's another drawback to broadcasting. But again, I figure because of the quality you can broadcast in, and the fact that it's actually like very user friendly compared to PlayStation 4 at least, but both are very user friendly. But PlayStation 5 is very user friendly. I just have to get more used to the settings and how everything works. You really have to play around with the settings when you get it day one. So yeah. Now, let's just go over basically a general game quality. So on PlayStation 5, so far, only for Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you actually have two options on how you want to play the game. There's a performance mode and a quality mode. On Spider-Man, it's called fidelity mode. So basically, on Spider-Man, I was given the option to either play the game in 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. Now, the key difference is on 30 frames per second, I would be given features that are exclusive to the PlayStation 5, like ray tracing and stuff like that. If I played on the performance mode, where I played in 60 FPS, I would not have ray tracing and stuff like that. So I thought that kind of sucked. It was unfortunate that I had to play in 30 FPS, but it was still very seamless. The gameplay was smooth. I had no latency issues, no frame rate issues at all, even during like really intense fight scenes, and that was very impressive. Also, in the settings of the PlayStation itself, you can calibrate it so that the PlayStation essentially tells the game to automatically be either quality or performance mode. I have it so it's always on performance mode because when I play games like Call of Duty, Dead by Daylight, multiplayer based games, I want to have those extra frames just to make sure there are no issues. Because I'm telling you guys, the difference between 30 FPS and 60 FPS on a game like Call of Duty or Dead by Daylight really is like night and day. But on single player games like Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I actually want to play where it's better quality because I don't need I could still play if I could play 4K 30 FPS compared to 1080 60 FPS, I would pick the former option because I really want to see for myself how beautiful the games can look on the PlayStation 5. So on Spider-Man Miles Morales, I have my PlayStation 5 calibrated so that everything runs in 4K, and I was playing Spider-Man basically in 4K 30 FPS. Now for me that looked good, but what is unfortunate again is that on YouTube the maximum I can stream in terms of quality is 1080p 60 FPS. That's unfortunate. So that's what you guys are going to be seeing. But the fact that that in itself is still a huge upgrade from 720p 60, I think it's still worth it. And I think eventually, when YouTube or PlayStation updates it so that you can stream an even higher quality than that, which I'm sure they'll do in the future, because I don't see why not. If I can capture video in 4K, I'm pretty sure I could stream in 4K sometime down the line if they add some kind of system software update. I think that would be amazing. That would really take the PS5 to like a whole other level. The PS5 already is in a class of its own, even with the issues that it's had and like all the problems people have been having with like the disk drive not working or the PS5 just dying. I think once these kinks get worked out, and even if they come out with some kind of a PS5 Pro model in the future, it's going to be amazing. The fact that the PS5 you could play games like Dead by Daylight really smoothly when on PS4 there was always latency issues and BS stuff happening in the game. I think it really rivals PC, but that's just my opinion. So I like the option to be able to play either performance mode or quality mode. I have it set to performance mode, and I have it so that my games are playing at 4K. And you could change this. You could have your PS5 run games in 1080p, 1080i, whatever you want to run it. But I want to max it out, and I've had no frame rate issues for the most part. So there you go. Now, what else did I want to talk about? Basically, let's see. let's talk about the controller. Why don't we? So I have the DualSense 5 and the DualShock 4 right there. The controller itself is mainly white with some black around the middle of it. It still has the touchpad. It still has mainly all of the same features as the PlayStation 4 controller, but it is bigger. They advertise it as like an ergonomically better feeling controller with adaptive triggers and a built-in microphone, and all that stuff is pretty much there. I don't think the controller feels necessarily better than the PS4. If anything, I don't notice a difference besides the fact that it's bigger, but I do like how it feels in my hands. The adaptive triggers are a nice feature, but I typically don't really use them in games like Call of Duty or 2K, because if anything, I feel like it kind of hinders the gameplay for me, because it's like it's almost too realistic in a sense, if you guys understand what I mean. But otherwise, I think the controller is great. You know, the fact that the PlayStation 5 now comes with a USB-C Lightning cable means charging is pretty fast compared to the PS4. Um, I do think it sucks that the PS5 actually only comes with one USB port in the front, as opposed to the two USB ports that came with the PS4 that are in the front. But again, these are just like minor issues that could easily be fixed if you like took the time to do something with it. What was also unfortunate though about the PS5 as well is that I bought Astro A40's new headset for the PlayStation 5 with a mix amp. And it turns out that with the PS5, you actually have to buy a special adapter to be able to use the mix amp. So right now I'm talking on the Astro A40s, but I'm not using the mix amp. If I want to use the mix amp, I have to go out of my way to buy an extra like $50 adapter to be able to use the mix amp, which is a little bit unfortunate, but again, it is what it is. But otherwise, the Dolby sound is really good on the PlayStation 5 and all that stuff. So now basically, let me go more into specifics on the user interface. So I know you guys can't see it, but when you load up, the homepage is kind of similar to the PlayStation 4 in the sense that, you know, all your applications show up. You can go to the PlayStation Store, you can go to your settings, your profile, stuff like that. But the application icons are actually a little bit smaller, and going to the store is pretty seamless. There's no loading with any of this stuff. Load times in general are really low on everything. So, um, yeah, like you can just hover over to the PlayStation Store and it'll be immediately open for you. I like the fact that they came out with the PlayStation Plus collection, which I think is a huge plus, giving a lot of PlayStation 5 players the ability to play classic and, in my opinion, like some of the best PlayStation 4 games. You know, The Last of Us, Infamous Second Son, what else was there? Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 with Zombie Chronicles, all for free. There's like 20 plus games. And what the good thing is that if you've decided to keep your PlayStation 4, if you've added these games to your library from the PS5, you can go on your PS4, you know, if you're on the same account, and you can download the games onto your PS4. So that's a way to get them for free in a sense. So I've had most of these games already, but still, like the fact that you could play all these amazing games, Uncharted 4, God of War, I'm still thinking of more games. Like I think that's amazing. So I like that. I can't actually wait to play more of the PS5 games because I want to see how much more they'll utilize the hardware of the PS5, because I think the games that are out now, they're still backwards compatible with the PS4. I want to actually play a game that's actually only playable on PS5. Like you can't play it on PS4 because it just demands too much of the hardware. I want to be able to play like a PS5 exclusive game that can't be backward compatible on the PS4, and I really want to see how that game is going to look, because I think games like Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Call of Duty already look so amazing, but the fact that they have PS4 counterparts or PS4 versions, I think kind of tells us that the quality isn't 100% just yet. And that's why I also don't think that personally people should rush out to get like 8K TVs, because the fact of the matter is a lot of these TVs still don't support HDMI 2.1, which is the new HDMI that the PS5 uses. My current TV is HDMI 2.0. I bought it about 5 years ago. It's a 4K Ultra HD TV. I am pretty sure. I know it's 4K, but it doesn't support HDR. It doesn't have HDMI 2.1. But the fact that I can now play games in 4K and my TV can actually run at 4K, because PS4, the max you could play games at was 1080p. So just that, food for thought. So I want to be able to actually Really max out as much as I can with the PS5. In the future, in the next couple of years, I actually want to get an 8K or a 4K HDR TV that has HDMI 2.1, so that way you can fully utilize the PS5's power. Because right now, I'm not using all of the PS5's power because all these features that it has, I can't utilize because my TV doesn't support HDMI 2.1 and it's not HDR, which is unfortunate, but it's still a vast improvement over the PlayStation 4, I'll tell you that much. All the games run great. Call of Duty, you can actually play on 120 frames per second, but unfortunately, my TV doesn't support 120 frames per second. But the fact that I can still play 4K 60 and not really have any frame rate issues or latency, there are little latency issues when you do teleportation in the game. Like, if you guys play Call of Duty, you know what I'm talking about. When you teleport to the Dark Ether, there can be little frame rate issues, but I turned off ray tracing and it seemed to fix it, like 90% of it. So still, the fact that I can play Call of Duty with 120 field of view on 4K 60 FPS, I think is still amazing because I know Call of Duty and DBD are two multiplayer games that really demand a lot out of your console, and you need the specs to be able to run those games smoothly on max settings. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Um, I think in general, the fact that you could still you could still go back and forth between your PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, I think still gives you a reason to keep your PlayStation 4, because I was always the type of person that whenever I bought a new console, I would sell the old one. So originally, I got the Xbox 360 in 2011, and then I got the PS4 in 2013, and I sold the Xbox because I figured I'm never going to use the Xbox anymore. And now the PS5 has come out, and I actually am not really sure if I'm going to sell my PlayStation 5. I might in the near future, but for right now, I feel like there's still some use to it. So, like, there still is a reason to keep it. Or I could give it to my brother or somebody else. So, no need to sell it if you don't need to. So, yeah, that's just my take on it. I'm still thinking if there's anything else I haven't talked about. I've talked about the hardware mostly. The software. Oh, okay. So basically, another issue that I had with games is that games crashing for no reason. So on Call of Duty, for example, I'd be playing zombies with my friends, and I would try to upgrade something. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm trying to upgrade weapons and zombies, and every time for some reason, whenever I go to the menu to pick out the options of which weapons I want to upgrade, my game would crash, and this happened 5 6 times on the first day. If you guys actually go on my YouTube channel right now and scroll down, you're gonna see 5 streams of zombies on the first day because they all have the same thumbnail, and that's mainly because every single time I tried to upgrade my weapons, the stream would crash. Spider-Man would also crash for seemingly no reason. I'd be like frozen on a cutscene and the game would just die. So, and DBD would also crash as well every now and then, but definitely not as often as the PS4 version. Also, what sucks about the PS5 version of Dead by Daylight is that I main Quentin Smith, and the Nightmare on Elm Street DLC was really the only paid DLC that I paid for. And the fact of the matter is that on PS5, I think due to licensing issues, you can't play as Quentin or Freddy on the PS5 version, which is unfortunate. I don't want to still play the PS4 version just to play as Quentin. I want to play the PS5 version. I really like the PS5 version, so I'm just gonna stick with Ace or David King or whoever I play, and just hope that in sometime in the near future they could allow Quentin and Freddy to be on the PS5 version. That's also another issue, but I know that that's not really Sony's fault, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that that was even an issue is still kind of weird, but otherwise, yeah. So I talked about the user interface, I talked about games for the most part, I talked about the hardware, capturing and broadcasting. Yeah, so even with me broadcasting and playing Dead by Daylight at max settings, the PS4 is still really quiet. So I think at the end of the day, one of the main complaints PlayStation 4 players had was that their PS4 always sounded like a jet engine every time you played something, and it is true. And I'm just glad that the PS5 can stay relatively quiet throughout this whole thing. And I want to see what the future for PlayStation 5 is. So what I hope for the future is that for games like God of War Ragnarok, Resident Evil 8 Village, and all these other games that I think are fully, or more so going to utilize what PS5 has to offer, that the PS5 won't start to sound like a jet engine again in the near future. And I wonder if when they do release a Pro version in the future, really what they could update. You know what I mean? Like, maybe on the PS4, PS5 Pro version, you might be able to stream in 4K or something like that. I don't know. But I figure the PS5 right now is strong enough to be able to do that. Sony just has to give us the option to. Also, on a quick side note, another weird thing that Sony did for some reason is that you can't add expandable storage for the PS5. Now I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, Neo, you could just plug in an external hard drive in the back of your PS5 and that should be your expandable storage. No, technically no. The external hard drives are only going to be able to store your PlayStation 4 games, but you cannot download PS5 games to an external hard drive. You need to specifically buy an SSD that'll fit into the back slot of your PlayStation 5 to expand the storage. So right now, the PS5 came with 825 gigabyte storage for SSD, but I downloaded like four or five, 6 games, and it already took up all of the storage. And I remember storage being a huge issue for the PlayStation 4, especially towards the end of its lifespan before I got the PlayStation 5, where I had to keep deleting games and re-downloading them to download updates for other games and stuff like that. So I know that right now, currently, I have 2 disc games, the single-player games, Miles Morales Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I have Call of Duty downloaded, NBA 2K21. What else do I have? Dead by Daylight, and I think that's it. And all of those games take up maybe like three-fourths of my storage already, because in reality, you don't get 825 gigabytes of storage. You might get like 670 or something like that, because I guess a lot of it more so goes towards the user interface and all that stuff. So hopefully in the future, Sony did say this, that they will come out with an update where you can actually use expandable storage SSDs, and I really would need that because there's so many games that I have downloaded that I want to play, and the expandable storage would be nice. So that's also like I guess a kind of a con of the PlayStation 5 that you can't use any expandable storage for the PS5. Not including external hard drives. External hard drives would be a good idea if you download a bunch of PS4 games onto the PS5, because then you could just store them there and have your main storage be simply for PS5 games. So overall, I think that's about it with the PlayStation 5. I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I like that also when you're doing video captures, you can actually see the timer on the top of how long you've been making your video. It's been 27 minutes already. I think it's about a good time to wrap up the video. In general, what would I give the PS5 out of 10? Um, well, let's consider this. So I don't actually have like a score to give the PS4 out of 10, but if I were to give a score to the PS4 out of 10, I would easily give it like at the bare minimum an 8.5 out of 10, just for the fact that it's lasted 7 years for me. I know a lot of people have had issues with their PS4s, especially the launch ones where they had to replace it after a few years or overheating issues. I have never had any issues with my PlayStation 4. It has so much longevity. I only had to replace the controller once in its 7 year lifespan. Um, the games were amazing. Everything was pretty much good. So if I'm giving the PS4 minimum an 8.5 out of 10, then the PlayStation 5, I think already the launch version, taking into account the fact that there's no expandable storage, capturing and broadcasting still has some issues, but the fact that you could play games in 4K, you have the option to pick between frames and quality. I might have to give this PS5 launch console maybe like an 8.8 out of 10. I think it's amazing. I do still think there are a lot of improvements it can make. I can't give it a 9 or a 10 because it's not perfect, but I still, and also because in the future I want to wait and see like when you really push the PlayStation 5 to its maximum capabilities, if it's going to start sounding like a jet engine again. But just from what I've played so far, I've had no issues with my PlayStation 5 besides games just randomly crashing every now and then, but that's just kinks to be worked out, you know? All of the issues I've had with the PlayStation 5 are just kind of kinks. Oh, also, another issue that I just remembered. When I was downloading Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, it immediately downloaded the PS4 version for me, and I didn't realize this until a little bit later. And when I tried downloading the PS5 version, it was stuck at queued for downloading 0%. But when I would go to the download screen, it wouldn't be there. Nothing was there. So at first I assumed it was because I didn't have enough storage. I deleted a few games, went back to it. It was still set. It was still stuck at queued for downloading. And for a week or so, I was stuck with that. I couldn't play the PS5 version of Call of Duty actually, and I had to wait until they came out with some kind of a hot fix for it. But you had to do it yourself, and I managed to do it. And now I'm playing on the PS5 version of Call of Duty Cold War. And also one more issue before I forget. the fact that the PS4 version of a game's trophies doesn't carry over to the PS5 version. So for example, on Dead by Daylight, on the base game, I had trophies for it because I played it for a while on PlayStation 4. I had 85% of the trophies for the base game. I'm not talking about all the DLC trophies included, but then when I got the PS5 version, I was starting over at zero. So now on the PS5 version, I have to get all the same trophies again because trophies just don't carry over for whatever reason. I have the save data for the PS4 version because I'm able to keep all my characters, all my blood points, all my perks. All that stuff's the same when I enter the game. But the fact that the trophies don't pop up is a little bit suspect, in my opinion. So that kind of sucks. It's the same case for Call of Duty Cold War. I got a lot of trophies for the PS4 version, but then when I went on the PS5 version, I had to get those same trophies again. And there's one specific trophy that I'm a little bit worried about because I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to get it. It's basically to fully upgrade 6 perks in Call of Duty Zombies, and I do have them maxed out because the save data transferred over, but it won't give me the trophy. So I don't know if I just have to wait until they just give me the trophy eventually, or if they release a new perk, if I max that out, it'll count, or if I have to actually contact Activision on my own. That's another reason why I can't give the console really a 9 out of 10, because it's pretty good, and I think I might be a little generous with giving it an 8 out of 8 right off the bat, 8.8. But the controller is good, headset's good, the user interface is good, games are good, they run well, no latency issues, no frame rate issues, so I can't really complain about much except these issues here and there that I think are just going to get fixed out as the year goes by. But otherwise, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. As I said before, make sure to check out my channel for all, the games that I've been playing. Recently, I finished Marvel Spider-Man. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla right now. I stream DBD, Dead by Daylight, every Friday. Yeah, I try to stream or upload something every single day if I have the time. This video will most likely go up on a Thursday, and that's going to be December 3rd. So I hope you guys can, check out my channel, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, hit that bell, you know what to do. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. So basically, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you later. Peace.